ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank Trivandrum Management Association for inviting me. I come from a background of research, and today I am actually in biotechnology area. I wanted to just emphasize that when I started my early education, I stopped my biology in 12th standard, and I have never learned biology after that. Why do I say this? Because in 2005, I decided that I was working in physics, and I wanted to change my area. And I started learning biology at that age. Today, I had a biotechnology institution. It's very rare to see a physicist head a biotechnology institution. This is why I want to emphasize that you can learn at any age. And that's the reason why I want all of you to realize that if you have chosen a path, which probably would have been because many of your peers had taken it up, you should not be stuck into that if you do not like to pursue that. So you should be able to you should realize that you can learn anything at any point of time, and you can diversify yourself at any point of time. So when we are looking at this, what is that Trivandrum Management Association should do? They should look at opportunities for these people who are actually looking at diversifying themselves. So create opportunities, create facilities, create cross-discipline movements in industry as well as in academia. So this is the first thing we need to do in developing useful human capital. I mention this word useful because today we produce way too many engineers. We produce very little doctors. We produce many undergraduates, but they are all aimlessly studying and moving around. What is the most important thing they need to do is to be able to understand their employment ability is dependent on developing the skills. The skills cannot be learned in a textbook. Skills have to be developed. That means they have to work. One of the areas where we have never ever looked at is the education in ITIs. If India wants to be a leader in technology and leader in manufacturing, the first and foremost reforms we need to bring out is in our education of ITIs, not IITs. We have done enough for IITs, but we have never done anything for our ITIs. If I want a precision engineering, it is not the IIT who is going to do it, it is the worker in the shop who is going to do it, and that person has an education of ITI. And he has been working with a technology which is 30 to 50 years old. And to him to come to level of an accuracy of a mill, we say in US, that is 1/1,000,000th of an inch accuracy. A machining cannot be done in this country. Even though we have the instruments which can be done, because the employee is not competent enough to study that. You have engineers, fantastic engineers. We do not have people who can do this. We today never develop a bridge which is different from others, or over your flyovers which are looking different. We do not use building materials different. We do not innovate. because our civil engineers do not work in it. We have ITIs who are leading this bridge technology. I'm just giving you examples of human capitals where we need improvements, where we need to develop. Now coming to the area where I actually today specialize in biotechnology. India is imagining to be a 100 billion technology in biotechnology. Are we in Kerala, in Trivandrum, even having industries in biotechnology which is actually looking at these kinds of areas? Sadly, I do not see any attempt to develop biotechnology industries in Trivandrum. COVID has taught us many things. We always have been worried about COVID, and rightly our chairperson has already mentioned that COVID we need to live with. But today, COVID has taught us many things, and many industries have come out of COVID. We never knew what was an RT-PCR, but today everybody in this hall or anywhere in the country knows what is an RT-PCR. But do we even develop the basic chemicals required for an RT-PCR in Kerala? Very few industries are there. There are huge potentials in biotechnology. We are only looking at right now COVID. We are never ever looking futuristically. Government is already envisaged an idea of One Health. One Health, when we say, many do not even understand what is One Health. One Health requires human, animal, and plant technologies and understanding. This requires integration of many ministries in various institutions. So, do you think it should be a primary health department's job to think about One Health? What is the advantage of One Health? You realize today that COVID came from bats. And if we can understand whether there is a propagation of a disease from an animal to human, then we can actually have preventions and interventions which can be created. Are we prepared for it? We are not. This is where Trivandrum Management Association can actually work, and I will give you why. This is where we need to actually develop manpower for not just biologists. We need plant biologists, we need animal biologists, we need human clinical biologists, we need sociologists, we need understanding of epidemiology, we need AI, we need even data, big data management. Now you can realize that this is not a one discipline area. So this is where, if you are thinking of a Vision 2025 for human capital, you today have to create an environment, an institution which actually brings together multiple disciplinary people to come together and learn how to tackle this big challenge which humans are actually facing. Today we need to actually look at, because you actually have pets at home. You do not know how many diseases would come from pets to you. You have various different kinds of pets. So you need to understand the transfer of diseases from pets. You have many vegetables and various materials which you are actually using for food and restaurants, you need to understand what you are using is actually affecting you. That means the fertilizers, pesticides, growing processes, various other technology, how it influences the animals, how it influences the human being. So this is where you need to invest. This is one area which urgently needs attention. And that's why I would actually say the best people to work is not, you need to actually be the leaders. You need to take up this as a first and important step in management. If you are alive, you can develop many technologies. If you are not, you're going to have pandemics like COVIDs in future, and they will be repeating it many, many times. The other area which is very, very important today is to actually improvise. And Kerala, I wanted to mention this because Kerala has the best healthcare system. So this could be a very beautiful environment to develop many new innovative ways of treatment. The new area of treatment in future is to actually cater. Today we have standards which are done for America. When you look at the chart of a child growth, you will see that none of your child will be actually matching that growth chart. The reason is that the growth chart is actually a European or an American chart. You need to develop these kinds of population data, which we need to actually develop our own standards. This requires you to integrate academia, industry, and healthcare systems to come together to develop standards of healthcare. Today, Trivandrum has the largest diabetes, cancer, and various other diseases. We can actually prevent these. These are lifestyle diseases, and these can be prevented. How do we prevent it? Not by the technology what has been developed in US or Europe. It has to be developed in Kerala, in Trivandrum. That means you have to have a population of 1 lakh healthy and diseased people looked at, data developed. You have to do an algorithm, machine learning, AI, and try to develop the exact data about our population. This requires a large investment, large interdisciplinary work, where clinicians, academicians, and industrialists have to come together. So these are where the human capitals have to be developed in future. I am only talking about biotechnology. I am not talking beyond that. I've given you 2 examples. I can give you many more examples where human capital needs to be developed. And that's where we need to actually go. And thank you very much for this, and welcome.